John and Janet, see, you not even know. Hey, guys. John, first one on. Then Ron, then Johnny, and Cindy. Welcome, everyone. I don't know how many people we're going to have, but I wanted to go see my grandson play baseball tonight for a little bit. And I'm only doing this because I'm going to be close to where he plays because I just can't afford to keep driving. The gas is just ridiculous. But you know what? There is a savior on the way. I heard the man say, oh, oil is this price right now, but it's going to soon drop. It's going to drop like a rock falling from the sky. Huh?
Everybody's saying that.
But everybody's saying that, as Ron says. But here's what I don't understand. Why did he let it get this way? There's a song, Why Did It Ever Get This Way? Why did he let it get this way? This man made us promise. Still a war in the Ukraine and Russia. Well, that was going to take 1 month to end, if that. Now it's worse than it's been. So they're making it look, but honestly, I think it's over. Now all of a sudden, Iran went from a nothing to, oh my God, we got to all be scared of them. Well, if it's a movie and it's already been played, why do we have to be scared? What is their idea that they have to scare us? And we're going to talk about some of these things today. I want to thank the people who came on. We got 20. Good to see you, Betty. And Janet's not here. So, John, Cindy, you guys got to
Jeffrey is
keep me going. Jeffrey's here. That's good. And Betty. So anyway, I'm going to say the pledge. And after I say the pledge, I'm going to say play the music. And then we're going to see what we can talk about. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If tomorrow all the things were gone, I'd work for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, where the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the man who died, who gave that right to me. And I'm glad they stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt. Bless the USA.
I wouldn't say it comes up. I don't think I don't know.
From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, oh, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston, and New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say, I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave their right to me. And I'm glad we stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt God bless the USA. Next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land.
Okay, let's play our game. Can you get down? God bless the USA. I'm proud to be an American, and I am. I was talking to someone today, and they go, wow, you really love your country. And I said, yes, I do. But you know what's funny? What's funny is for patriots, it doesn't matter how much we love our country because the people that served our country, this is what, guys, I want you to listen to this. Larry and Betty and Eileen, Cindy, Jeffrey, Ron. I want you to listen to this, see, because there's people out there that served our country. And when I tell them I'm a patriot, they say, what's that? Well, I tried to show the people what's going on in the country. Did you serve in the military? I said, no, I did not. I just happened to come in at, when I was 19 years old, was the year they abolished the draft. When I was 19 years old, it was the year that they said 19-year-olds could drink in a tavern. Hey, fate was on my side. Did I turn into an alcoholic? No. Did I like going to the tavern and having a beer? Yes. But because I didn't serve, I don't have the right. I know a guy right now that he was a Vietnam vet. When he was in the Vietnam, his work was Radar O'Reilly type work. He gets out of the service, and now all of a sudden, all these years later, he is Audie Murphy times 10. And for all of you young kids here, Eileen and Jeffrey and John, do you remember Audie Murphy, the greatest war hero ever, who went on to be an actor? Now, here's a question. Audie Murphy died at a very young age, or did he? Inquiring minds. I just thought of that yesterday when I thought about talking about this. And I got thinking, did he really leave? Because we all know he was hell on wheels. And then we go to the music industry for people. Where are they at? You know, in 1959, there was 3 people that supposedly died. Why? John and Jeffrey and Eileen, Larry. Have you ever wondered why them 3 died? Why did they rent a plane on a night as bad as it was when one of the guys, his wife, brand new convertible Cadillac that could set 6 people in comfortably. There was a driver and her. Why would they rent that when they could have jumped in that Cadillac and speeded down the road with plenty of heat? Why? Because they had to make things look something. The same thing as riding in a motorcade in Dallas, Texas on that sunny afternoon. Why did that happen? Because he was stirring up crap and they had to protect him. But I got thinking, when I worked at Gould Battery, G&B Battery, when I worked there, I was a head of the association to book events for our committees. And I booked a concert of the old people, the older rock and roll. Do you remember Dion and the Belmonts? Do you remember It's My Party? What's her name, Ron? She sang It's My Party. Oh, she's a little bitty girl. I can't think of her name. But there was other ones, and there was like 8 of them that was going to perform in Indiana, Maryville, Indiana, at their big convention center. And we got tickets. But a highlight of that event was Del Shannon. 3 days before we were scheduled to be there on Saturday night, on a Thursday, I'm in doing my job in my little room. Now, I'm at work, guys, so when I say my little room, I'm not talking about being at home in my bathroom. So you naughty people, get that out of your head. But I'm in there doing my job, and all of a sudden, one of the guys that's on the board comes running and says, Ralph. And I go, what's up, Dennis? Did you hear the news? I said, Dennis, I'm in here working. I can't even hear myself think, it's so noisy. What is the news? He said, come on, we got to go for a walk. I said, what do you mean we got to go for a walk? We got to go for a walk. I said, where are we going? He said, I got something to tell you. We get to where we can actually hear, where it's not so noisy. And he said, Del Shannon just passed away. I said, no. I screamed it. The old plate wrappers, they was all looking, Ralph, are you okay? They come running to me. Are you okay? Are you okay? And I said, no, I'm not okay. And Dennis told them what happened. I can remember growing up standing there in the middle of a factory. We're men. The women were more men, some of them, than we were men. That's how masculine they were. And I remember tears coming down the eyes. What are we going to do? He was the headliner. We're not going to get to see him. Well, he's dead, Dennis. There's nothing we can do. Let me call Maryville and see what's going on. I said, I'll call him tonight when I get home. I got home. I called Maryville and I asked him, what's the situation? Well, they said that he had passed away suddenly and no reason for it. It's just that they're going to do an autopsy and he's gone. I said, what's that going to do to the concert? Well, we're going to add someone else. And also then Dion is going to be the headliner. Now, isn't it funny? Dion's going to be the headliner. Because do you know where Dion really got his start? Where he really got his fame? Was on February 3rd, the night his fame actually started. Because he was backup to Buddy Holly, Richie Valens, the Big Bopper. He actually performed that night there as just, hey, Dion. No one knew Dion in the Belmonts. No one knew this and knew that. He was put full-time replacing Buddy Holly. Yeah. He went from really literally nobody to the headliner of a tour, because you can't stop the tour. The 3 greatest rock and roll singers maybe ever supposedly just lost their lives, but we can't stop the tour. Too much money. And Dion was a headliner. Now, all these years later, one of the most famous rock and roll singers, Del Shannon, he passes away, and Dion is a headliner again. And it was an amazing show. I mean, it was sad because they did tribute to him. But I said this story, guys, because I was talking to Ron just last night. And we talk about, yes, my little room is my office. We talk about who do we think is here? Who do we think is not here? When are they going to announce it? And I said to Ron, I says, one we've never talked about, Ron, is Del Shannon. What do you think? Really and truthfully, wow. Really and truthfully, you don't try to think about things like that because you try to keep a positive view. But I think the world is going to go to rock and roll heaven when they see who's still with us. I was watching another video, and this young girl comes out on America's Got Talent. And I said, what's your name? And she told her first name, and I don't remember what it was. And then she says, my name is, I'm just going to call her Emily, because that's a name that just popped in my head. She said her name is Emily Michael Jackson. They looked and they said, wow, you have a famous name. Are you any relation to the real famous Michael Jackson? She said, yes, I'm his daughter. And they go, really? And he goes, yes. Well, how did you feel when he passed away? She says, that's what was tough. The whole world The whole world mourned. The whole world loved my dad. And I didn't know him. She looked and she said, you probably knew him better. But when he was with me, he was the greatest dad in the world. I bring Michael Jackson up because I truthfully believe
They had a picture of him on.
we've seen him several times at all of the Hats events. Ron said they just had a picture. There's videos all over. Guys, if you just keep your eyes open, and I know as Patriots, Bill, you do. I know as Patriots, Larry and John, you do. I got a lot more to talk about, but I want to get into the kids. But I have two things I need to do right now. One is I want to say a prayer, and another one is I want to sing happy birthday. And isn't there someone in our group that's celebrating a birthday today? I thought I seen someone wish somebody, but no one told me about it. So I don't know for sure, and I can't remember who it was. But anyway, dear Lord, as we come to you today, we come to you with a lot of happiness and joy and love in our heart. But we also come to you, Lord, today with a lot of sadness in our heart. A young 18-year-old man named Larry, the son of Renee and Jim, the brother of Jimmy. And I'm sorry, Lord, but I can't remember his two sisters' names. He went to pick something up the other night, and some people doing some things they shouldn't have done. Some people being here that they shouldn't have been here. Some people was doing things, truthfully, Lord, there is no forgiveness on this. But they hit this young man, and he has been on life support ever since. We have prayed and we have prayed, and I ask everybody here listening to me today, Lord, to pray more for this family. They've been through so much. They lost their mom 2 years ago, the wife 2 years ago, the daughter 2 years ago, and then they found out that they also lost a little baby that they didn't even know was on its way. Lord, this young man is amazing. I did speak a little bit to him once, or at him once. And we just pray for you to let him have a second chance. Don't let somebody else's stupidity, Lord, take another one of your children home. Let him stay here with his family. Somehow, Lord, as only you can do, make this happen and save this young man's life. As we all come to you today and pray to you through our Savior, your Son's name, Jesus Christ. Amen and amen. No young man should go through what this young man is going through. Before I go any further, I'm seeing gas prices. Bill said $4.80 a gallon, up from $4.30 overnight. Isn't that amazing, Bill? Because, I seen the hat just speak last night, and he said, oh, this is the price of oil. And someone said, why? He said, because that's the way it's got to be. And that person looked right at him in the eye and said, it has to break the people in our country, the senior citizens who don't hardly make enough to live on, people who's losing their homes, people who can't afford to buy groceries, and even if they could, they couldn't afford the gas to get there. And you think, well, it's going to drop, and it's going to drop fast. And I wanted so much. I said to Ron today, if we could be in the same room as this man and he'd say something like that, my question would be, why has it not? Because, guys, I'm going to tell you right now, I love this man. I believe he's the man that's going to do what he says he's going to do. But right now, we never seen with any preceding president our economy be this bad. Oh, but he has one thing in his hat. Two things. He got no taxes on tips. Who cares? I'm a senior citizen. I haven't been tipped. I go in and buy a donut. They'll look at me and say, here's the jar. What do you mean, here's the jar? I'm buying a donut. Well, don't you want to tip us? No, I don't want to tip you. I run a donut place For 2 summers, I was the manager on the weekends. I never once asked for a tip. You get your pay. If you're a server, you're expected to tip, but tip what you want to tip and not what somebody wants you to tip. The same people is telling me, well, that's not enough. They're the people that never go out to eat because they never tip, because they're cheap SOBs. But the point is, I'm yelling, I'm screaming, I'm pleading. It's going to go down. When? The war is going to end. When? My Lord, man, you've been in office for well over a year. Get off the pot. Oh, but I need to tell you, he's going to China tomorrow and the next day. Oh, it has to be all over the world known. Every movement he makes has to be known. And guys, I'm getting on him today because I don't think he's doing for the people of the United States of America what he should be doing. And whether I'm saying this into a screen talking to you guys, or I was looking him straight in the eye, I might be a little nervous, but I'd tell him how I felt in a very professional way. He made promises and he's going to keep them. But how many people are we going to lose before he keeps? He promises to get rid of all the illegals. He promised us that. If you're illegal, you don't deserve. 6 people in a car the other day that hit Larry. That probably is going to cost him his life. We all hope and pray it doesn't. All 6 of them illegal. So for you people, and now nobody in this group, but if anybody watches this and you want to leave this country because he's the president, get the hell out. We don't need you here. And take your illegals with you. If they want to come back in the right way, they're more than welcome. The right way. My goodness, I was in a car one night. The only ticket I've ever got in my life, I was in a car. I was sitting behind 4 other cars in front of a Dairy Queen. The first car takes off after the light turns green. The next car, and I take off. And I'm just driving, keeping about 2 or 3 car lengths in between. And all of a sudden we come up on this corner and I look at Ron. I said, look, there's a police officer over there on the side. The first car goes by. The second car goes by. The third car goes by. The fourth car goes by. And then I go by. And as soon as I go by, woo, 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 I said, Ronnie, he's pulling us over. I pulled over and he walks up and he says, do you know what I pulled you over for, sir? I said, I haven't a clue. He goes, you were speeding. I said, I was speeding? He said, yes. I said, I bet if you go back to that cam back there, you're going to see that I was the 5th car in a line. So if I was speeding and I didn't pass any of them 4 cars, wouldn't they have been speeding too? Or was it just me that you decided, hey, it's the end of the month, you got to make a quota? Oh, when I said that, next thing I knew, there wasn't one police officer in a car there. There was like 10 or 12. I mean, they had me. You would have thought I was the #1 crime prospect in the world. One car comes up with 2 police officers in it. I look over and I roll my window. I said, hey, how you doing, officer? And I call him by name. He said, Mr. Anderson, what are you doing here? I says, ask your officer back there. Evidently, I've done something wrong because you got 20 cops here for me. He goes, what did you do? And I told him. He said, oh. He said, that's not good, Mr. Anderson. You know you're going to get a ticket. And I said, I know, but I also need to get to my daughter's volleyball game because I never missed one. I got to go pick my wife up at Shapiro's. And me and her and Ron's got to get out to ready to go to the game, but we'll drive safe. He said, yeah, I know. We had a good talk the other night. You're a good guy. I said, well, could you help me here? He said, no. Oh, wow. I just looked at the time, 0254. That's my birthday. That's got to be an omen about something. But I said, no, you know, I'm okay. I went to court that day. I made Ron get on the stand. I defended myself. I made the police officer get on the stand, and I says, how could I be speeding when the others wasn't? I did such a good job, and Ron did such a good job. The judge looked at me and said, Mr. Anderson. I said, yes, sir. He said, I believe you're innocent. I believe you're as innocent as you can be. But the police officer that gave you the ticket has to be paid his overtime for coming in here today. The only way we can pay him the overtime is if we charge you $85. And he said, so are you okay with that? I said, no, sir, I'm not. He said, Mr. Anderson, that's my ruling. I said, I'm not okay with it, sir. But here, and I handed him my receipt, and he says, what is this? I says, I knew I was guilty because in our place in the United States, in Illinois, we are guilty until proven innocent. And the way I was always raised with the law, sir, I thought we was innocent until proven guilty. But you proved today, said Mr. Anderson, we have to pay the overtime. So I said, that gives this police officer the opportunity to go out there and write tickets just so he can get overtime. I said, man, I've worked in a factory for all these years. I wish I could have just wrote my own overtime. Say, oh, I'll show up here for 2 hours and you'll pay me $80. It's a shame the way it went, but it's getting better. And I'm not mad at Donald JT. I'm not mad at him. I'm disappointed that it's time this movie ends. It's time we move on. But they say, Jeffrey and John and Cindy, they say, Bill Woods, that every dog has his day. My mom always told me that. And I had my day because I wasn't driving my vehicle. Well, actually, I was driving my van. The police officer didn't know anything about my van. And I'm driving on this road, and it was going by the YMCA, and right at the YMCA corner with the street lights, there was a big water main break, and there was water. I mean, water this deep, guys. And they had up people out there. They're just waving cars through and waving cars through and waving cars through. And as they start to wave me through, I looked at Ron. I said, Ron, look who the police officer is. He goes, you're not going to, are you? I said, not going to what? As I let the car in front of me get a little bit ahead, and I gunned it, and I hit that water, not going through softly, because he was waving me hard because I let them get so far ahead of me. I hit it, and I threw water 50 feet in the air, and I drenched this guy. I got my day, and I didn't even have to pay but $85. My brother-in-law calls me that night. He was a police officer. My brother-in-law was. He calls me. He says, was you over by the YMCA at such and such a time? I said, I'd tell you, but then you might arrest me. And he goes, it was you, wasn't it? I said, I don't know nothing about it. Oh, the police officer went back in, and my brother-in-law told me in the police station to change clothes. He was yelling and screaming. Did anybody know of anybody with a vehicle like that? But see, the thing of it is, I threw water so hard, he couldn't even see what the vehicle looked like. He couldn't see the license plates. And that's my happy story. So, Super Jimmy, I have no words that I can tell you. I have no words that I can ease the pain. All I can tell you is you're always on our mind. We're thinking about you. And we're praying for you, your family, and your brother Larry. Patriot 11, I hope you're having a good time. The weather should start to break here and there and everywhere.
Yeah, Saturday and Sunday is going to be in the 80s.
Patriot Karate Kid and Patriot Wyatt Earp, brave, courageous, and bold. And you two are great kids. And I can't wait to see the smiles on your face when we all meet as a family. Who knows? Maybe mom and dad will take you to the Kentucky Derby next year when we all go as a family. What do you think about that, Cindy and John? And kids, we'll even get you the big hats like the ladies wear. Not that you're a lady, but, when I was in school, the color pink, if I wore pink, I was considered a sissy. I mean, pink. My mom bought me a pair of pink socks one day. I said, I ain't wearing them. I wear them. They're gonna kick my rear. I ain't wearing them. Now, boys are painting their hair pink. They're wearing pink shirts, pink socks, pink shoes. They go get a brand new baseball bat that costs $300 and it's pink. But yet on Mother's Day, not one of these kids that do all this had any pink on. Isn't it amazing when they can get attention for doing it? Isn't it amazing? Patriot Princess Our Queen and Patriot Hunter. Isn't it amazing that these kids will go out and do this? And then on a day that they could do it to show love for somebody. And don't get me wrong, I had nothing against anybody wearing pink to support cancer. I have nothing. The other day, on Mother's Day, all major leaguers wore pink hats. Most of them wore pink shoes. They had pink in their uniforms, and they used pink bats. I have no problem with that. But boy, in my day, if I'd have wore anything pink, I wouldn't be here to do this show tonight. Oh, no way, Jose. Patriot Bugs, Boogaloo, Boogaroo, and Boogie. You know, hey, Bugs, can you imagine you at that Kentucky Derby next year with one of those big hats? And maybe Uncle Ralph looks at you and say, what horse do you like in this event? And you say, number 5, because that's your favorite number, Patriot 5. Or you might say number 6 because of Ron. And I look and I say, okay. And I go and I buy you a ticket. I walk up, I give you a hug, and I hand you the ticket. No one knows you got it. And then all of a sudden that horse wins and you're jumping up and down and jumping up and down. And I go and I cash the ticket in for you, and I come and I give you another hug, and you get the money. I'm not teaching them to gamble, John. I'm just teaching them to have fun. And just think of it the bright side, everyone. If we go to the Kentucky Derby and we take the kids, they're going to be outside. They're not going to be on their computers. They're going to see these beautiful horses. And oh, yes, I've already talked to you, but Patriot 11, you will be there too with Grandma and Grandpa. Mom and Dad, if you want, guys, we're going to have a party. They're going to say, who is Patriot 5 and Patriot 6 group? Man, these people are crazy, Nita. Crazy, because we love each other as family members should. Patriot Little Leona and Little Elon, you're getting to the age. Man, you're growing too fast. There's a song, slow down, you move too fast. Well, slow down, you're growing too fast. Patriot Cutie Pie and Patriot 17 are 2 kids from the Ukraine. Yeah, every now and then I get carried away, Bill, when I talk about them. And sometimes we do over here in the sidelines, but yeah, you're right. I like magic beds, special beds. So anyway, the 2 kids from the Ukraine, they're so happy. I mean, their lives are changing. They can see what Uncle Ralph's starting to tell them and Uncle Ron's starting to tell them, or Dad, or whatever. They call us everything because they just are 2 kids that are in desperate need of love. Looking forward to 2027. Not me. Not unless they go to the new calendar and we go there that quick. Oh. Yeah, we should be on them by then, Cindy. Patriot Super Gymnast, I'll see you tonight. Patriot 7, I'll see you tonight. And in a way, I'm looking forward to it. In a way, I'm not, because he's playing a game tonight, but he's moving up to the next league. And he already has a big head. You know how you have success in something, you have success in something. Now, all of a sudden, you think we're going to work on that attitude. Patriot Small Hank, I heard you had an amazing night last night at Martial Arts, and I'm very happy for you. I wish I would have got up. Hey, Robert, good to see you. Nice talk last night, buddy. Everyone, give Robert Ford a thumbs up. This man is from 6 hours ahead of us. Going to be maybe another one of our states. Now I'm going to talk about states in a few minutes. But give him a thumbs up for just being here. It's early for you, though, isn't it, Robert? You can watch it now and watch the rebound and still get a good night's sleep, but you won't. You'll be up talking to me or Ron. Patriot little gymnast. Oh my goodness. She started her first softball practice the other day, and they were hitting her ground balls, and oh, Grandpa's got a lot of work to do with that one. But then they let her bat, and she swung so hard, she fell down. She got up and said, Grandpa, she's needing help, and I'll be there. And then Patriot little Kira, boy, I tell you, she's getting so close to me right now, and I think it really upset her mom because as soon as she sees me, she comes running, Grandpa, 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 jumps in my arms, gives me a big hug and a big kiss, and she wants to be named Henrietta, her middle name, so we can call her Tiny Hank. I said, you know what, we can just call you that anyway. That concludes tonight's version of The Children. Remember, kids, this show is not meant for you. You can watch it under the discretions of your parents, grandparents, legal guardians. The music we played tonight, we have no legal rights to. We play it because it's our theme song and we like it. And if I use any other information, play any other shows, videos, or whatever from someone else, it's because we're trying to get the word out, and these people have given permission for us to do so because they're always saying, spread the word, spread the word, spread the word. The other night I played something by Sky Prince, and Myrna caught it, and she sent me a message saying to make that statement. I didn't see it until afterwards, but I wasn't worried about it because I know Sky's not going to come back, because she says right in it, spread the word on this, get this out to everybody. So she's giving us permission. We try to do everything we're supposed to do and do it the right way here. We don't look at things like other people do. We're not here to make money. We're not here to take money. And speaking of making money and taking money, let's talk about the small call. If I can get it.
Serve someplace.
Do what, Ron?
It's there someplace.
Yeah, I know. The small call by last night from Bruce, May 12, 2026, XRP crypto coin did go live today. Our sources in Iraq yesterday was the day the prime minister and council and cabinet to be seated and acknowledged. He is as prime minister, and now is the cabinet complete for as of yesterday at noon. It was not done. He called the new prime minister and told them to get it done by today, Tuesday. What else is going on? The Supreme Court has voted on the elimination of the federal income tax part of NESARA. The vote was 7-2 to eliminate that tax. The timing of this could go back to as early as February, but would take 6 months to get implemented. But our sources say that it should happen and an announcement made by the 4th of July or much sooner, as in the past weeks or so, in the next weeks or so. The Post talked about a consumption tax that replaces the income tax of 14% on new items. This will only be on new items, houses, cars, things like that, medicines, things that are used, where there will be no tax at all, just that 14. This tax was collected by the state, split it, where half stays with the state and the other half goes to the government. It was set up to come up, officially announced before July. This was on Telegram post that was quickly taken down. How soon for NESARA? All of this should be announced by July 4th. Bondholders heard. Bondholders should be getting emails for getting access to funds on Thursday. We should get announcements on Wednesday and get our accounts on Thursday. Today we hear from Treasury Source to be notified and / exchange Thursday or Friday of this week. That is from a strong Treasury source. Did hear something about an hour before the call that suggested a conference call with Redemption Center leaders, most likely a Wells Fargo call, and Treasury was part of it. They were preparing for the exchange Thursday or Friday of this week. When the notifications come out Wednesday or Thursday, it is looking very good for Thursday and Friday. Look very hard Friday. If you have registered on bigcalluniverse.com, then we will send you an email as a large blanket email with 800 number. Most of you will get it from Wells Fargo, but not sure of header they will use. We will make sure the number we get will be the right number for the U.S. and Canada. President the Hat is suggesting that Venezuela may be our 51st state. Venezuela is very happy to be freed from Maduro by President the Hat. President the Hat is on his way to China to meet with Xi. Bruce is excited for us going this week and getting in that special beds ASAP. Maybe we go 4 to 5 days after our exchange, but those of us who are Zim go first, or you have a dire need, you would get a phone call to set an appointment. I am told we will have new rates on the screen Thursday, so it could be our start. At this point, rates are a secondary thing. We have great rates, and Zim holders are in great shape. This is the gist of Bruce's call today. He had some good points, but he also had a lot of points. Michael James, Ian Bell, Larry Smith. He had points that not Bruce is discussing them, but you can't go many places on the internet that are not discussing them. And we have a follower here with us. She doesn't come on the show much anymore. I don't know if it's because she's so busy getting information or she just got tired of me, Ship 64. Yes, he does. Ship 64, he does. Every now and then he adds a new wrinkle, but it's the same thing. What are we supposed to say, Ship 64? I say the same thing 3 nights a week, 3 days a week. I say it because I want to keep your vibrations up. Because when you make a statement that he says the same thing, I'm thinking maybe you might, I'm not saying you are, you might be just a little judgmental. And if you don't like Bruce, that's okay. You don't have to like Bruce. When I say I'm going to start reading Bruce's stuff, if you don't like him, walk away, go get a soda pop, go get a beer, go to the bathroom, just walk away. Bruce's segment takes me about 3 minutes to read. Walk away for 3 minutes, come back, you never heard nothing about it. Hey, if I'm listening to somebody, I don't like what they're saying, I don't keep listening to them all the time. I'll take a walk. I'll come back, they'll be talking about something I like, I listen.
We never listen to Nick Fleming.
That is the great thing. That is the great thing about freedom. You're free to do what you want. As I'm free to read what Bruce says. Do I believe in what Bruce says? Hell no. Not in a heartbeat. But at least he has the courage and the capabilities to make himself very wealthy through this, which I think he's going to pay dearly for. But he has the courage to go up there twice a week and do something. The reason I'm sitting here in this chair today was because Juan O'Savin and David Rodriguez went to a big event 6 years ago. When they come back, I was listening to their show and I was excited. Man, I'm telling Ron, this is great. This is great. And they challenge people. I don't care if you've only got 1 or 2 followers. Get this information out. Do a video. Do something. And that day, on March 5th, 6 years ago, I did a video and I put it out to 12 people. I did what David Rodriguez and Juan O'Savin, they challenged me and I did it. the fact that I listened to the life story of Mr. Pillow, Mike Lindell, and I said, he's went through all that and he's kept going. He didn't quit. He didn't give up. He didn't comply. And I thought to myself, if he can do it, if they're asking me to do it, why can't I? So I made a promise that day. I made a promise to my Lord and Savior, God and Jesus Christ. I made a promise to them. I was going to see this out to the end. Has there been times in this journey that I wanted to pack it in? Oh, yes. If you
only been suspended about 4 times.
If you could get Ron alone and he would tell you stories of things I've said, oh, but see, I trust Ron because he's my best friend. So he tells me things and I tell him things. And that's what makes us good, because we don't come on the show and say, oh, well, Bruce is a piece of, work. I'm going to be nice. And Bruce says the same thing. If I could go and find it and I could do a screenshot of Mary Ann and myself talking last night, before Bruce came on, I said, this is what Bruce is going to start off with. And this is where he's going to go. And this is what he's going to say. And I said, within 10 minutes, Bruce will be done. It will be an hour and 35-minute show. And Bruce will send 10 minutes. I said, Bruce will talk longer promoting and recapping what Sue says. He will spend longer promoting and recapping what Bob says so they can make money. And then at the end, when he finishes, you'll hear a click because he'll say, but it's not too late. And when he says that, everybody hangs up because he knows he's going to go and start promoting Sue again. An hour and 40 minutes. And his part was a little over 11 minutes last night. You're not the only one, Chip, that feels the way you do. But every now and then he does say something, or he'll say the same thing over and over. And some of the things need to be said over and over. And the one thing he has that will help everybody, if you haven't been to the Big Call Universe, if you haven't signed up for his newsletter and you have currency, why? I'll have it here as soon as I get it. I'll have it here on a show. When I sent that little message out today to everyone saying that we were going to do an afternoon show, I'll have it. I'll put it there, and in our group pages, I'll put the number. But you're 100% sure that you're going to get it from Bruce. I don't care how many. I've got 3 different emails attached to that. So I'm going to make sure I get it. Hey, Myrna, good to see you on here. I'm thinking you're on. I don't see you, but I seen Robert say, hi, Myrna, good to see you. And Ship 64, I really hope you're not thinking I'm picking on you. What you said stood out, and I'm explaining why I talk about Bruce. The transfer yesterday, DJT said it on camera. I want to go to Fort Knox. I want to see the gold is there. They steal a lot. The president just told you someone stole your gold, 147.3 million ounces at 692 billion last audit 1974. 52 years, no camera, no proof. Same week, France pulled all 129 tons from the New York Fed. India, 104 tons. Germany, emergency reparation. China buying record gold every month. Every nation pulling gold home at the same time. You don't evacuate a vault unless the vault is changing management. May 15th, Kevin Warsh replaces Paul. Same day, the hat sits with XIZ, whatever it is, in Beijing. The Fed machine that kept you in debt since 1913 changed its hand. The gold isn't just moving, it's being revalued. $42 an ounce on the books, 4,700 an ounce on the market. When they mark to market, the treasury explodes. That explosion funds what comes next. What comes next is you. GESARA Debt Protocols Live. Every unlawful mortgage, every student loan since 1971, every credit card being calculated now. The average American is owed $100,000 to $450,000. Tier 4B, 12 states activated, 800 numbers loaded, waiting for one thing: Fort Knox on live television. He told you on camera, believe him. Restored Republic via GCR update as of May 13, 2026. According to a report compiled by Judy Bidington, date May 13, 2026, a cornerstone of this transition is the move from the transitional fiat dollar to the system backed by tangible assets such as gold. The narrative suggests that historical audits of significant gold reserves like those at Fort Knox are central to validating a new currency value. This shift presented a response to unmanageable national debts and desire to return to the constitutional republic by moving to a gold-backed system across 209 nations. The report envisions a global economic environment where currencies trade at a stable 1-to-1 ratio, theoretically eliminating and validating an inflation often associated with fiat-based banking. A significant portion of the report focuses on quantum financial system, QFS, and the adoption of the ISO 20022 protocol. In a world of legitimate financial technology, ISO 20022 is a real global standard for electronic data interchange between financial institutions. In the context of the GCR report, this protocol is seen as the unity frequency that allows for the secure, transparent, and uncorruptible ledger. The report claims this system went live globally in early May 2026, aiming to replace older banking infrastructures with biometric verified systems designed to eliminate fraud and streamline the distribution of wealth. Central to the Restored Republic narrative are principles of the NESARA and GESARA, National and Global Economic Security and Reformation Acts. These concepts propose a massive redistribution of wealth and debt nullifications. The report suggests that an algorithm is currently calculating birthright values, effectively refunding citizens for lifetime tax contributions and interest. This includes the potential elimination of mortgages, student loans, and credit card debt. Furthermore, the report discusses a shift in tax policy, moving from a federal income tax. I'm laughing because I'm having trouble seeing right now. Consumption tax on the luxury items while exempting essentials like food, medicine, and education. For those identified in the reports as Tier 4B, the Internet Group, a private currency holders, the update specifies structured redemption process and describes a protocol involving private appointments at specialized redemption centers rather than traditional banks. According to the text, the process is handled with high security, requiring NDAs and biometric verifications to ensure the integrity of the exchange. The narrative suggests that these centers are equipped to handle revaluation of foreign currencies and the activation of quantum wallets, marking the final steps of this transition to a person-centered financial system. While details of these reports are vast and complex, they reflect a deep-seated desire among many of the financial systems that prioritizes the individual over institutional debt. As any significant economic theory, it is essential to observe, to remain informed, and consult a variety of perspectives, whether these transitions manifest exactly as described or serve as a catalyst for a broader conversation about reform. They underscore a pivotal moment, the public engagement with global monetary policy and the pursuit of financial freedom. I don't like to read, guys. So I said a lot today that I've said a lot before. We talked about a lot today that we've talked about before. But let me ask you the question. How many here's got currency? Raise your hand. If you would, if you got currency, raise your hand. Just, I do, Ralph, or whatever. Robert Force says, hi, Janet. Janet says, oh, Janet's on? Snuck on me, huh? Hey, Janet, good to see you. That's okay. You're here. You made it. For everyone who's have currency, how many times have we covered things you need to do to prepare? How many's done it? I got 2 bills set aside, and each passing month, I take the same 2 bills and I replace them with the new 2 bills. I have my presentation ready. I practice my presentation 3 to 5 days a week. I know how much currency I have ready. I have my paper that I will hand to them to show them how much currency, show them my projects, and I will be in and out within 30 minutes if they allow me. And I will be out with a smile on my face. I will walk out with my stomach turning up to 100 million miles an hour, but I'll walk out as cool as a cucumber. I will get in my car. I will start my car. I will drive away, and hopefully there will be a parking lot close where I can get away from the world and just start screaming and yelling and jumping up and down and being happy and getting all of this out. This is many, many years that we've waited, and it's now going to happen. There are people that don't have any currency, and that's okay. Everyone has the right to do, but it doesn't matter. You're still going to become very, very wealthy. Everyone is going to become very wealthy. Why don't they make everyone become very wealthy before they worry about going to the redemption centers? And no one's going to care if anybody goes to a redemption center. But just have everything ready. Send me a message. What do I need? And I'll put a list together.
The same chance to buy.
What it is, as Ron said, we don't get upset if people don't have currency. If you do, great. I know somebody that I made a statement on here one day, and that statement was, I think the hottest currency out there, they can talk about the Zim, and they can talk about the dinar, and they can talk about the dong. But you know something I love to hear is when some woman tells me how many dongs she has. I had to get a little joke in there. I had one woman look at me one day and says, oh, I got a whole lot. I got a lot of big dong. You know, I got a warped mind. But I bet you a bunch of you are laughing right now, or Myrna's shaking her head right now going, oh my God. Yeah, Myrna, you might need to come up and slap me alongside. But this one person that I got in mind, I told her about something called Bolivar. And I am not a financial advisor. I have bought and bought and bought. And we have bought and bought and bought. Oh, so what? So we didn't get a half a gallon of ice cream one week. So what? So we didn't buy.
That sounds good.
So we didn't buy $25 worth of losing pick 3, pick 4, or regular lottery tickets. So what? We didn't do that. We've invested in our future. But this one particular lady She's like all of my family here. I love her with all my heart. She does something special for me a couple nights a week. She heard me say Bolivar is going to be the hottest one out there. At the time when I was telling, I was hearing Bolivar is going to go for $18 for each $1 million note. You could pick $1 million note back there for under $1. A buck. I am, you buy 100 of them, and it's like $35 or something back then. And you're going to get $18. Man, a $1 million note. And even if you only got a dime, it's $100,000. You bought 100 of them, $10 million for a $35 or $40 investment. My brother Russell looked at me and said, I ain't buying stuff like that. He gave us money once, so he's our partner. He gave us money. I ain't buying stuff like that. But at least once a month, he goes to a tavern and he'll spend 50, 60, $100 in a poker machine. At least once a month, him and his wife go to the casino over in Joliet. Hey, they have a limit. Neither one of them can lose more than $200. They'll lose $400 some nights. Oh, some nights they might walk out of there with a $300 or $400 winner. They're spending $1,000 a month on gambling. Me and Ron took that $1,000 a month and bought food, bought drink, and bought foreign currency. No one has to buy it. But I was figuring up the other day, and I'm not bragging here. I was figuring up the other day, if me and Ron, if all the currency of all the yellow dragon bonds, the purple bonds in China, and the green bonds that we have them all. Of all of the Zim we have, of all of the Bolivar, of all of the dinar and dong, and all of the 11 or 12 other countries' currency, if we get 1/2 of a penny, 1/2 of a penny on every dollar of currency we own, we're going to be multi billionaires. But it's not about the money, guys. Janet and Michael and Linda, Patrick, Cindy, it's not about the money, Myrna. It's about let's get on these special beds and get our health so we can teach these young kids what to do, how to do it, and when to do it. So we can get them outside to play. So we can take them all to the Kentucky Derby. So we can get the ranch and they can come and ride horses taught to them by Patriot 11. Before I go, I have to sing birthday. Myrna, was there someone's birthday today? Larry Smith said, Mike Barrett said today, Bolivar will go under humanitarian funds like Zim. I was thinking that could happen. And the reason I was thinking it could happen, it could. I don't believe it will, but it could, because, when a hat makes a statement, he's thinking about making Venezuela the 51st state. I always thought Canada was going to be. Then I thought it was going to be Australia. Then I thought it was going to be New Zealand. So what you're seeing here, guys, is a pattern. Is he actually in China to negotiate that China's going to become? Is every country in the world, are we going to end up with 209, 259 or whatever states in the United States? Is the whole world going to be the United States? When you think of it, it sounds stupid, Robert, doesn't it? Huh?
He's going to be king.
And he's going to be king of the day. And he's going to have a few other kings under him. And then they're going to have queens and princesses under them, but they're going to be good people. Government is gone. Everything is gone. Okay, I just thought I read today it was someone's birthday, but when I went back to check, I didn't see it. So if it was someone's birthday, I'm going to miss it today, but I'll sing to you, and Myrna will sing to you when we find out. But I do want to sing happy birthday to someone that is special to me. Someone is special to Ron. He's kind of the in-between, a Patriot 5 and Patriot 6. We give him Patriot 4 because I have no idea. He never goes by it. But his birthday is tomorrow. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Russ. Happy birthday to you. And I really do. I hope I can convince you to get on these beds. And I hope you have many, many more. My brother Russ looked at me one day and said, I don't like this world. I don't like the way it's going. And I said, you don't know how it's going. He goes, what do you mean I don't know how it's going? 5 Kingdom, Ian Bell says. 250 states for 250th birthday. Hey, Cindy, that's a good one. That's a good one. Leave it to Cindy. Thank you, Janet. Oh, Janet, by the way, Ella says hi. Guys, that concludes tonight's show, or this afternoon show. I'm glad everybody came on. 78 people on now. And thanks, everyone, for doing it. I will be on Friday night, if not before. But, guys, I really... And when everybody says Bruce says the same thing, I've been getting pretty good at saying this every show. I truthfully believe that we are really close and we're going to cross that finish line. And remember, the Little Giants show said it only has to happen once. Good afternoon. See you Friday night. God bless, and we love you all.